our mallet because we're probably going to want that. Oh, this is the mallet one. And we get something in this. Got a little bit of a knobby here. We're going to chisel off real quick. Just a little piece. I thought we did a nice test fit, but apparently I missed that. Raise piece. That side. Number 4 up toward the top. There we go, that's better. Alright. Number 3 up toward the top. Piece on this too. There we go. It's just a little nudge. Number 5. Up and back. Slight gap. Let's see. There we go. That's seated in. All right, number 1. Should have left. Number 2 is our glue in, I think, on this side. Should be anyway. Yep, that's going to be our glue in. Technically, we shouldn't have to glue this in because this side's going to pretty much hold it in place. It's not going to move around or anything, but I'm going to hit it with a dab of glue just to do it. Because you don't, I mean, it's not going in or out, but it could go side to side a slight bit, and probably just a good idea to have it in there. But we're definitely not using any metal nails or screws or anything like that. And we're just going to put a little line of glue down each side. There we go. Just enough and dry to hold it in place. Centered. There we go. Yeah, the front of that looks better than the back as far as the foot fitting it. Once we clamp that, that'll help there. So now I want the top to be the front. Why does that not look right? Because we pounded on the other end. Yeah, we're good. It'll clamp together. So now, I want the front to be up. There. which means we have to turn this around and lay it down because that's our front. So, okay, number 2 is now here, just so we know. And set the sawhorses up so we could do that. And now we should be able to work from one end to the other. This is the fun part. It's 2 in. So we get the 3rd one here. This is where the mallet's going to come in handy. So we don't want to have them going too quickly here. I want to make sure this is the number 2. They're seating properly. There we go. Yeah, this one fit right in. There we go. And now, I'm not going to trust the sawhorses, so I'm actually, well, should I? Yeah, we'll trust the sawhorses. Sawhorses are a little bouncy, but they're fine. It looks pretty decent. Alright. So, there we go. Get this together. Now we're going to clamp it. And we're only going to... It's not that we have glued it. We glued number 2, which... Let's make sure she's still centered here. A little off. We're going to clamp it just to squeeze these together, and the wood will could pull back apart, but we're just going to squeeze them just to have them seat all the way together, flush up as best they can, and that'll help make sure the wood's there's not something in there keeping it from going together flush here. This will also, number 2 is coming together better now. There we go. Just seated right in. And this means number 1, right, or what is this, 1? It's flush on both sides. So we could have a little bit of a gap on these just because these could be just a little bit shorter than 1. 5's not quite tight. We're going to run a clamp on that just to see if that's a fit thing or just the way it's going to be. Because the back could be tight. We just don't know. Which means the front won't get any tighter. Nope, we're pushing together here. There we go. Yeah, so we're flush both. This one looks good. This one looks really good because it's being squeezed by those other ones. So we got a little bit of a gap there, but there's nothing we can do. Number 2 looks like it's the most of a gap, but we're not getting that together. But yeah, there we go. So we do have some flush issues here, which is not a big deal. That's why we're going to hit this with sandpaper after. We did sand these guys with 100 so that we could get all the way in the ends here while we had them apart. So it's smoother. But yeah, looks pretty good. I'm happy. Again, we'll hit this with some sanding and help flush it up. And let's see. So this is... Which one's our top? Which one's our bottom? I think this is our top over here. Nope, that's the bottom. Okay, so here's the top, which means this front face, this piece goes here, which should have A and A marked. Yeah. So this guy should slot right in here. And we are putting pegs in. Normally when you're doing, like if you're doing a timber frame house, normally you would drill your holes in your mortise at a certain depth. Say it's X. Then when you drill your holes in your tenons, you do them separately. You don't drill them, you don't just drill straight through like I'm going to do. We're not making a timber frame house. So, it's not that important, but you want the fitment to be as tight and stay tight, and your pegs could actually pull your wood together a little bit more. The way you normally do them in the timber frame house, you would cut this at X, or drill your holes at X. Then when you drill your tenons, you drill them a slight bit inside. Is it inside? No, outside. You drill them X plus a distance out from your shoulder. And what that does is when you pound your pegs in, it actually pulls this to this board. It pulls them together tighter. Doing that in this small of a mortise and tenon setup, you're not getting that much benefit. And if you could chip out your tenon pretty easily, especially on this because it's we don't have that much of a tenon. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to put it on, and then we're going to drill straight through and then put our pegs in. Once this thing is tight, we'll try to run some clamps from here to the end. That way we're as tight as we can be. Then we'll drill our pegs. We got to actually route our pegs down or find a way to make pegs out of our walnut. But yeah, that's how that's going to work. So I'm going to clean up. We've got a couple little marks here on the end. Going to make sure these are nice and clean. And then we're going to go ahead and put our end boards on so you guys can see what this is going to look like. And we'll probably have our most gaps here on these ends, I have a feeling. Because these tenons weren't the greatest. I'm just trying to get all of the debris, any kind of sawdust that might be left in these, chips of wood, out. So when we put these together, it will be nice and tight. There we go. And we already test fitted each one of the beams to the posts separate, but we had not test fitted with our mortises we cut for the walnut. So this will be a test fit for that. And we already see one issue here. Let me just double check. We got the front side. Front side's up. This is the bottom, right? That's what I said. Let's just double check and make sure. Put these on. Yep, that's the bottom. So this has to be on this side. So I think we need to do a little more. Maybe. Yeah, we need to take a little more of this away. And maybe a little more of this top. Yeah, we need to take a little more away for this side. Which is easily done. Shortcake, hey, how's it going? So what do you think? So for those of you, Shortcake's my wife. Go give her a follow. She's never streamed before, but we're trying to see how many followers we can get her. So I'm making a headboard for us for our king size bed. What do you think? All right, let's see if this we can get this to fit here. So this piece, I don't know if we're gonna have room back here to do this, or if we're gonna need to flip it around. I think we need to flip it around. Move it over. There we go. So this is a little tight, top to bottom. We don't know yet until we chisel a little bit of the mortise off, or tenon off, and then we should be good. So we need the fitment on these might be off because we didn't test fit with our mortises for the Walmart for the walnut. All right, let me get you so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we need a little top of this taken off. Not much, just a little bit. Probably hard for you guys to see what I'm doing here. That should be good on that side. And actually my marking on the outside was deeper. I didn't translate that, it looks like. Alright, let me get a smaller chisel. That might do it. I don't know. Let's clean this other side up. This is deep enough. Yep. That's the opposite side here. Alright, let's see if we can get this to fit this time. I think we're hitting the bottom of this at this point, so we need to chisel a little more of this out. Alright. Now let's see if we can this with really be tight here. Good thing we have the clamps on there, it seems to be falling apart. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see what I'm doing, and I do apologize. Probably could move the camera down maybe a little bit here, and you guys can see a little better. Let's do that. And again, I'm not a videographer, so forgive the transitions here. There we go. It's not the cleanest in here, but it's really rough pine. So as you see, we tore out the back more than cut, but that's in grain and hard not to. So and we just want to get rid of. I think I might be blocking you guys with my head. There you go. We're going to try to get this down to this tenon. That looks like about where it lines up. And we are not, normally we would undercut here, but if I do, I'm afraid I'll chip these off. So we're just cleaning up after we've the grain is going with this. So as we chip out, it's going to chip the grain side pretty evenly there. So we're not as concerned. I'm more concerned about breaking this off. So. Let's get an undercut in the back here again. Try to do this around the other board. Alright, go a little deeper. There we go. Undercut a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think we got them out. All right. Let's make sure we're going in even here. Good there. Good there. I just need to try to get this cleaned up. There we go. Yeah. Trying to get this chipped out. Close quarters. Alright, let's see if we got a fit. Okay, all together. Alright, let's get the mallet. See if it seats all the way in. There we go. Like I said, our fitment here we knew wasn't going to be the greatest. But I still think it looks good. We might actually take this back off